Hello, and thank you for allowing us to present our transformation process. We are Team 4, which is Jonathan Huffer, Muhammad Malik, Chester Qualls, and Mike Struckman. Let's begin by looking at an industry analysis in which Odin Coffee performs. Um, our pestle analysis shows the positive and negative impacts that we believe may exist within the industry as a whole. Positive impacts, for example, are fair trade practice levels, can affect the pricing somewhat. That's a good factor. Good general economy is good for coffee shops, renters market for retail space, advent of coffee connoisseurs in the market, and coffee shops thought of as gathering places are also a great positive impact for us. Coffee shops as a place for small business meetings, machinery used to deliver quick and consistent cup of coffee, mobile apps that speed up payment and ordering, fair trade practices, and organic farming are ecological factors. Natural disaster, of course, could raise the prices and desirability, and high rating from local food inspectors or labor review practices. Some negative impacts are sources of coffee beans, weather and political conditions. Downturn in the general economy, of course, can have a bad effect. Lessor's market, labor wage increases in the region, mobile apps, and other technology. A turnoff for those wishing for a craftsman's product. Global warming can be a negative impact. Use of pesticides and failing to source using fair trade practices can be a negative for a company. Using Porter's five forces analysis for this industry, we see that the barriers to entry are moderate. There's really only a moderate financial investment involved compared to many other investments. Bargaining powers of buyers are attractive. Buyers do not have typically the power to negotiate the price of a cup of coffee. Bargaining powers of suppliers are also attractive because many suppliers are relegated to selling what the going prices are, and of course the regulations involved. Threat of substitutes is unattractive because there's many options in the coffee shop industry. You can go to another similar coffee shop, or a restaurant may serve you a cup of coffee, or you can stay home. Compliments are moderate. Desires for pastries or other sweets, for example, may be a good complement to your cup of coffee. And the rivalry is also unattractive because is strong competition between the rivals in this industry. Now that we've looked at the industry, let's look at Odin Coffee specifically, and a few things in their history. For example, they were founded in 1996. They currently have 4 retail locations, 1 dedicated roasting facility, and a large portion of their current customers are from out of town, seasonal visitors who come from the north down to Arizona for a little sunshine. And let's look at a SWOT analysis for Odin. Some of their strengths are that they have very good community goodwill, which they've worked hard at and deserve through some of their programs working with the community. They have strong leadership, and some of their weaknesses are that they have a lot of competition. There's a lot of other options out there. And undercapitalized. Odin right now has fairly good capital structure. However, they do not have the resources that a large chain like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts does, for example. Some of their opportunities, being in Arizona and the seasonal traffic, is the holiday and seasonal promotions that they can work with. Continuing their work in social responsibility, trying to interact with people in their community. And, of course, technology, which is what our transformational process is going to be about. We believe there's great opportunity in utilizing technology to give them an edge. Threats to them are dependence, of course, on the healthy economy. A $5 cup of coffee is considered a luxury, and so it depends on a good economy and everybody feeling like they can spend that. And of course, another threat is that from time to time a report will come out on caffeine or coffee beans in particular being bad for your health or whatnot. This can be a negative for them. Now let's talk a little bit about the goals we have for this transformational process and some of the value that we believe we can add to for Odin Coffee. We believe that we can help you to build a better community around the experience, which is Odin Coffee, help you to understand your customer better, and that we can do that by leveraging some of the big data analytics available. We will hope to build even greater loyalty out of your existing customers and increase the profitability margins for them, providing even greater customer lifetime value. We also hope that we will be likely to get second visits for new customers, turning them into regular customers, using some of these better experience, better community, and whatnot. Some of the alternatives we considered are just not use any analytics and just focus on the people-powered personalization, training the employees and the processes and how and what to do, trying to learn the customer habits and things like that. Another option is to just collect data but not yet do anything with it and just find out what's happening. But some of the reasons that we're selecting what we're proposing is that we believe we have a high confidence that we can produce better results for you than what you're getting now. We believe that this will allow you to be more responsive to changes in the environment and community because you'll be doing so based on the numbers and the data that's being provided to you. And that this will also allow you to be more resilient against employee turnover, which often happens. We hope to reduce employee turnover, but when employees do turn over, as we'll talk about later, you won't experience quite the impact from that you currently do.
All right, so now we'd like to talk about the transformation that we're proposing. On this slide here, we're looking at the as-is process. This is what goes on in the store today, and basically pretty straightforward. It's something we've all experienced. The customer comes into the coffee shop, and this is all very reliant on the barista or the worker. They have to immediately, hey, do I recognize this person? Is it a newer existing customer? If it's a new customer, they give them a generic greeting, as you'd have to do since you don't know them. And if it's a returning customer that they remember, then they can give them an appropriate personalized greeting based on their experience with that customer. And it's that personalized greeting and interaction that is what makes people value, in a large part, a local coffee shop versus some of the big chains that are out there today, such as Starbucks and so on. And then, of course, you go through the process of taking their order. If it is an existing customer, you can give them some personalized service. As you're doing that, you know what they like, what they don't like, and can offer them various things as a result of that. If you don't know what they like because you don't remember them or because they're new, then you just have to ask them what they want and then prepare their order and off they go. So that's the as-is process. All right, now let's take a look at the to-be process. The big difference here is we're no longer going to be completely reliant on the memory and the abilities of the barista to provide effective personalization services. It's now going to be augmented with the infrastructure that we've put in place and the analytics research that we've done that's previously identified demographic groups that and the associated best known methods for these demographic groups that can deliver optimal personalization and revenue maximization and so on through the appropriate interactions with the customer. All the things that a barista, after years of interacting with the same customers, would develop, we are now trying to automate via our system. So when the customer comes in, if you look in the lower left-hand corner there, they're immediately going to be evaluated by our sensors, cameras, as well as our ability to monitor smartphones. And through that, we will have the ability to determine if it is a new or existing customer. If it's an existing customer, that data that we've collected on that customer previously will be combined with other data such as the time of day, the weather, um, social media activity, data that we've collected regarding activities in the area, um, a well-defined set of data that enables us to accurately put that person in the appropriate demographic group for that particular point in time based on not just who they are, but everything else that's going on. So to be clear, a customer, one particular customer, can be in a different demographic group with associated best known methods for delivering the optimal personalized experience at different times depending on what's going on and what time of day it is and so on, and all the other data um, when when they when they come in. For a brand new customer, we will still attempt to put them in an appropriate demographic group using whatever data we have available, perhaps doing some facial recognition or some optical recognition that enables us to determine age and gender. Um, but we'll use whatever data we have available to put them as best we can in an appropriate demographic group, just as we would an existing customer. And then once the customer, new or existing, has been put in a demographic group, we will then take the best known methods that we've already determined for that demographic group and through the POS system provide real-time prompts to the barista, giving them direction on how best to interact with that customer to deliver the optimal personalized service. And that'll take the form of knowing what to offer them. What is their regular order for that particular time of day? It could also take the form of offering an additional item that we've learned for that particular demographic group is a optimal thing to offer them in addition to what they would typically order. We will also continue to monitor the customers via sensors during the entire time that they're in the store. So if there happen to be somebody who's going to spend an hour or two there working, we'll be able to monitor that as well as collect data on their activity over the internet, even though that might sound a little big brotherish. It could be as simple as keeping track of um, when they have downtime or when they're taking a break, so we know that's a good time to maybe interject and offer them something additional. Um, a lot of this will be developed over time as we learn what works, what doesn't work. We'll fine tune the BKMs for the given demographic groups and optimize the level of personalization that we deliver, as well as the revenue maximization that we deliver along the way. An additional benefit that will come from this is because the barista is being supported in this fashion with our infrastructure, it's going to dramatically reduce the training time that it takes to bring a new barista up to speed and delivering effective personalized service. And because it's easier on them, it'll be less stressful. They'll do a better job, they'll be happier, and we think it'll dramatically reduce turnover as well. So those are two additional benefits that we think will come from this implementation. All right, taking a look at the economic impact that we think our solution is going to deliver, the customer is coming to a small local coffee shop because they like personalized service. And clearly, as we've already discussed, our solution is going to enable a much better implementation of personalized service, even for long-term employees, and certainly for newer employees, it's going to enable them to deliver personalized service at the level you are seeking much more quickly and much more effectively. The result on profitability, we think will be significant. You're going to see a significant increase in revenue as we do a better job of growing customers and retaining existing customers. And then in addition to that, your revenue per customer is going to increase as we're going to be able to deliver a much better consistency as it relates to upsells for the customers that you've already got. Customer comes in for a cup of coffee, we're going to deliver the best known methods available for that customer at that given point in time to upsell them to the Danish, to the quiche, whatever it is going to make the most sense for that customer in that situation based on our data analysis. New employees and employee turnover, a huge problem for any retail environment, and even more challenging if your primary value that you're trying to deliver is personalization. With our system, the time it takes to get a brand new employee up and delivering the optimal level of personalized service is going to be much, much less. And even when they are an experienced employee, what the level of personalization that they deliver and their performance on upsells will be better. Because they're doing a good job, they're going to be happier customers or happier employees. They're going to be less stress. As a result, you're going to have significantly lower employee turnover. So that's also a big win from a profitability standpoint. Those are all drains on profitability. Market share, you're going to be taking customers from the less personalized mom and pop shops that are trying to compete with you that don't have this capability and that are dealing with high employee turnover. And you're also going to be doing a much better job of delivering personalized service than the big chains such as Starbucks and companies such as that can deliver. So we expect significant market share gain as well. All right, let's take a look at the implementation. First, our schedule. We're going to spend the next 30 days finalizing the scope of the project. Then we will spend 90 days collecting and cleaning the data that we will need for our demographic or clustering analysis, which is stage 1. That'll take 30 days. During that period, we will develop our demographic clusters. That'll take us into stage 2, where we'll spend 90 days evaluating what are the best known methods for maximizing personalization with those demographics. Those will later be applied in a real-time fashion, and that is stage 3, where we actually deploy the actual system that you're going to be using, where those best known methods for each demographic cluster now become part of the system that in the process that we just got done describing, and that'll take 60 days. And then it's an ongoing process from there where we will refine those best known methods and the demographic groups and really optimize the results that we're delivering to you. The execution risks, always going to be a risk that we got to do a good job of identifying which demographic group each customer should go in. Of course, there's an upfront implementation cost, and we'll describe in a bit here, what the ROI will be on that upfront cost and over what period of time you can expect it to take to recoup your investment. And then all of this is not going to work if the employees don't do a good job executing and utilizing the recommendations we're giving them. And that's where change management comes in. This is clearly going to be a change, and we need your management team to deliver clear direction to the employees that this is where we're headed and that they need to buy in. We'll work with you to define a training program that will help each employee understand how to take advantage of the new system and use it most effectively, and most importantly, understand why it's going to enable them to really enjoy their jobs and do their jobs well. And then finally, of course, we'll need full participation from all the store managers and employees as we push through this. All right, and finally, we've developed a very robust balanced scorecard that we can use to monitor the performance of our implementation to the metrics that we've set forth. It is a balanced scorecard, so it has metrics that we'll be monitoring in the financial area, as well as customer. Are we getting the results that we expect to get with the customers? Are the internal business processes working? And then finally, learning and growth. Are the programs that we put in place with your customers delivering the results that we've expected, the retention rates, and so on? So I'm not going to go through each one of these in detail. I'll let you review those and let us know if you think there's anything missing or if you have any questions, but we think this is a balanced scorecard that we'll be able to review with you on a monthly or quarterly basis, and based on the results of that, evaluate where we need to go back and fine tune our processes and or analytics to develop a better solution. All right, thank you.